6. Management prerogatives. A. Discipline. Question. Who has the prerogative of discipline of employees? Answer. Management has the prerogative to discipline its employees and to impose appropriate penalties on erring workers pursuant to company rules and regulations. Question. How can an employer discipline his employees? Answer. An employer has a free rein and enjoys wide latitude of discretion to regulate all aspects of employment, including the prerogative to instill discipline in its employees and to impose penalties, including dismissal, upon erring employees. This is a management prerogative, where the free will of management to conduct its own affairs to achieve its purpose takes form. The only criterion to guide the exercise of its management prerogative is that the policies, rules and regulations on work-related activities of the employees must always be fair and reasonable, and the corresponding penalties, when prescribed, commensurate to the offense involved and to the degree of the infraction. Question. What is the penalty for neglect of duty by an employee? Answer. The penalty for violating the provision on neglect of duty ranges from warning to dismissal depending on the gravity of the offense. Respondent company explained that mishandling the delivery of highly flammable petroleum products could result in enormous damage to properties and loss of lives at the terminal and surrounding areas. Hence, it has to exercise extraordinary diligence in conducting its operations in view of the delicate nature of its business. Considering the attendant circumstances, that the penalty of suspension first imposed on petitioner is reasonable and appropriate as well as legally unassailable.
B. Transfer of employee. Question. When can employers validly transfer an employee? Answer. The transfer of an employee ordinarily lies within the ambit of management prerogatives. It must be exercised without grave abuse of discretion, bearing in mind the basic elements of justice and fair play.
C. Productivity standards. Question. When is productivity standard a valid exercise of management prerogative? Answer. General rule. It is part of management prerogative to contract out any work, task, job, or project. Exception. It is an unfair labor practice to contract out services or functions performed by union members when such will interfere with, restrain or coerce employees in the exercise of their rights to self-organization. Question. What does the law provide on the right of employees to policy and decision-making? Answer. Article 13, Section 3 of the Constitution, and Article 255 of the Labor Code guarantee the right of workers to participate in policy and decision-making processes which can affect their rights and benefits. It does not, however, include membership in the board of directors of a corporation, but this could be the proper subject of a collective bargaining agreement. D. Bonus. Question. Is it mandatory for an employer to grant bonus to its employees? Answer. An employer cannot be forced to distribute bonuses when it can no longer afford to pay. The granting of a bonus is a management prerogative, something given in addition to what is ordinarily received by or strictly due the recipient. The law does not prohibit a negotiated discontinuance of a CBA benefit such as the grant of 14th month year-end bonus. E. Change of working hours. Question. Can employers unilaterally change the working hours? Answer. Management is free to regulate, according to its own discretion and judgment, all aspects of employment, including hiring, work assignments, working methods, time, place and manner of work, processes to be followed, supervision of workers, working regulations, transfer of employees, work supervision, layoff of workers and discipline, dismissal and recall of workers. Absent an agreement to the contrary, the management determines work hours. F. Bona fide occupational qualifications. Question: what are bona fide occupational qualifications? Answer: employment in particular jobs may not be limited to persons of a particular sex, religion, or national origin unless the employer can show that sex, religion, or national origin is an actual qualification for performing the job. The qualification is called a bona fide occupational qualification (BFOQ). The Supreme Court held that for a valid BFOQ, the employer must prove that 1. The employment qualification is reasonably related to the essential operation of the job involved, and 2. That there is factual basis for believing that all or substantially all persons meeting the qualification would be unable to properly perform the duties of the job. Question: when is the rule of restriction on marriage a valid exercise of management prerogative? Answer: the policy of non-employment of unwed mothers, women with live-in partners, and lesbians in an exclusive school for girls, run by a religious order does not violate the labor code. The practice is a valid exercise of management function. It shall be unlawful for any employer to discharge such woman on account of pregnancy. The pregnancy here could have resulted from love and as such only lends substance to the saying that the heart has reasons of its own which reason does not know. A matter that cannot be so casually equated with immorality. G. Post-employment restrictions. Question: when is a post-employment ban a valid exercise of management prerogative? Answer: an employment contract prohibiting employment in a competing company within a reasonable period of 1 year from separation is valid. The employer has the right to guard its trade secrets, manufacturing formulas, marketing strategies and other confidential programs and information.
H. Marriage between employees of competitor employees. Question: is the policy against marriage between competitor employees valid? Answer: it is a legitimate business practice to guard business confidentiality and protect a competitive position by even-handedly disqualifying from jobs male and female applicants or employees who are married to a competitor. The policy being questioned is not a policy against marriage. An employee of the company remains free to marry anyone of his or her choosing. The policy is not aimed at restricting a personal prerogative that belongs only to the individual. However, an employee's personal decision does not detract the employer from exercising management prerogatives to ensure maximum profit and business success.